money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jacking. Keep up. Players only. Come on, put your...
Hey, math morning. Mr. Durkis, back at it once again. Welcome to writing linear equations in slope-intercept form. You'll see we got 3 pictures up here. Everybody is just writing. So we're going to write linear equations today. Let's go. Here we go. So in the last unit, I gave you equations and I had you put them on a graph. I gave you a table, I had you put them on a graph. Now we're going to do the reverse. We're going to give you a table or a graph and you need to make the equation. So let's do a little word problem. Start it off. It says Mr. Durkis talks forever in his videos and other teachers try to convince him to talk less. Is that really happening? I don't know. Do I talk a lot? Maybe. So his first video was 27 minutes long, but he says he will shorten each video by 2 minutes. So I'm going to try to make these videos shorter by 2 minutes. And I want to graph all this information on this table. So first, let me fill out this chart over here. So what information do I have? It says his first video was 27 minutes long, and he says he'll shorten each video by 2 minutes. All right, so that's a good place to start. And what are these things that are long? 27 minutes long, 2 minutes long. Those are videos, right? So we got each video. That's another important part. So my label over here, we have 0, 1, 2, 3. These are going to be the videos, right? Every video I make. And the unit will be, well, that's the number of videos. And I'm going to make this one my x-axis. So I'll write videos over here. So that's my first video. I'll call video 0, and then video 1, video 2, video 3, video 4. My other unit, right, we're talking about minutes, 27 minutes. That is time. So you can write time there. And what kind of time is it? We're talking about minutes. And so the y-axis, I'm going to call that the minutes. And if you notice, I labeled this axis with numbers. I said 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I kind of spaced them out just so I'd use the whole graph. So you can copy this. There's 3 boxes between numbers on the y-axis. And there's 3 boxes between numbers on the x-axis also. So let's fill in this chart. When it was my first video, 0, the first one was 27 minutes long. So I'll put 27 there. After that, I cut it down by 2 minutes. I shortened it by 2 minutes. So that's subtraction. 27 minus 2, well, that's 25. And then my next one will be 23. And the next one, 21. Now I have these data points. I want to put them on the graph. So at video 0, my first one, it was 27 minutes long. So I go here for 0 for x, and then I go up 27. All right, if I was right in the middle of 25 and 30, that would be 27.5. So 27 is right there. My next one is 125. That is right there. My next one is 223. So there's 223. That would be, oh, there's 2. 23, that would be about right there. And 321, there's 321, that would be about right there. So great, I have this line. I connect the dots. You could use a ruler, make it look nice and pretty. So this is my videos. Every time they're getting a little bit shorter. So I've got a table, I got a graph. Now we want to write the equation. So we're going to do this with y equals mx plus b, our old friend. All right, so remember m, this is the slope. That's the slope. And B, that is the y-intercept. That's the y-intercept. So the initial value, that was the y-intercept, that's B, right? So what does B equal? Well, if I go up, that's right there where it crosses the x-axis, and it's 27 minutes. So my initial value was 27 minutes. Now let's do the rate of change. So I made a video, and every time it decreased by 2 minutes. So the y is going down by 2 minutes. So the rate of change, if you remember, that's the change in y divided by the change in x. So the change in y, it was going down by 2, so that's minus 2. And you can see that here, 27 minus 2 is 25. Minus 2, minus 2. Those are all minus 2, minus 2, minus 2. And the change in x, well, we started at 0, went to 1, then 2, then 3. We're going plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. So we have negative 2 over 1. You can simplify that to negative 2. All right, so our slope, and the letter for this was m. M equals negative 2. We have b equals 27. So our equation, we just fill it in. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals, instead of m, I'll put negative 2. And then I write the x. And the b is 27, so I write plus 27. Bam, boom, pow, bam, equation. Alright, now let's get the steps down to find an equation in slope-intercept form. Again, I don't know, I can't say this enough. M, that is the slope, and B, that is the y-intercept. So step number 1, find the slope. You can find it on a graph. So if you look at the line, you can count, you can say, okay, it's going down 3, and it's going to the right 5. Minus 2, 3 to the right, that slope would be negative 2, 3. If you have a 2-point, you can use the formula. The formula is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. This is the slope. So you can find it on a graph or if you have points. Next step, you find the y-intercept. If you have a graph, it's where it crosses the x-axis. So you look at the line, where does it cross the y? Did I say x? I meant y-axis. If you don't have a graph, it's any point where x equals 0. So 0, comma y. So if you have 0, 5, the x-intercept, we call that b, equals 5. Lastly, you just take the m and the b and you plug it into the formula that's just right there. All right, let's do some examples. Here we go. So we want to make an equation from this. The slope is 4, right? That equals m. The y-intercept, negative 6, that was b. So we've got y equals mx plus b. We've got that. Now we just plug in. Y equals, instead of m, put in a 4. There we go. Plus b. b is negative 6. Minus 6. This is it. But you see right here we have a plus and then a minus. We want to change that to only a minus. If you have a plus next to a minus, it becomes minus. Bam, boom, pow, bam. Y equals 4x minus 6. We have an equation. Moving on. Example 2. What's an equation of this line? Excuse me. So again, y equals mx plus b. Step number 1, you need to find the slope. Step number 2, you need to find the y-intercept. Step number 3, you plug it in. So let's find the slope first, m. They have 2 points right here, so it's the rise over the run. How much am I going up? So let's see here. To get from this point to that point, I need to go up 2. 1, 2. And when I'm counting the number of boxes. There's 1, 2 boxes right there. So I went up 2. How many do I go to the right? 1, 2, 3. So I went up 2 and I went 3 to the right. So that means my slope is 2 over 3. Now I need to find the y-intercept. Well, here's the y-axis. Where does this cross? That's right there. It's right there. Right there. That is -1. I started at the origin and I went down 1. So -1. Now I need to plug it in. So y equals, instead of m, I put that, 2 over 3. Then I write x, and then I write plus, and my b is -1. -1. There you go. But again, you have a plus and a minus right there. So let's simplify that. Y equals 2 over 3x minus 1. Bam. Beautiful. Beautiful. Example 3. So this says, what's the equation of a line that passes through the two following points? -3, 1 and 0, -8. So I want this formula, y equals mx plus b. So I need to find the slope, and I need to find the y-intercept. But hey, there, I don't know the slope. I don't see it over there. Well, remember the slope formula. It's y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So if I label these points, this is my first point, so I'll call this x1, y1, and I'll call this one x2, y2. Point 1, point 2. Now I need to fill it in. So m equals y2, that's -8. y1 is 1, so -8 minus 1. Divided by x2 minus x1. x2 is 0, minus x1 is -3, so I write -3. Let's simplify. -8 minus 1, that's going to be -9. 0 minus -3. Well, these two minus signs, they become a plus, right? Negative minus a negative is plus. So that's really just 3. And so that simplifies to -3. So I know that m equals -3. All right, I'll put that right there. M equals -3. Now I need to find the y-intercept. Where is it? So if I look at this point right here, and if I go back, let me go back, see if I wrote this down. Oh, there it is, right there. Any point where x equals 0, 0 comma y. So if you have a point like this, that's going to be the y-intercept. So I have 0, -8. So 0, -8. That means that when x equals 0, y is -8. So this is b. That's the y-intercept right there. So b equals -8. So I have m equals -3. B equals -8. Now I just got to plug it into this. Y equals, instead of m, I put -3. And then I write x. Then I write plus b. That's the -8. And there you go. I have a plus and a minus. I'll change that to a minus. Y equals -3x minus 8. And there we go. What is this stuff right there? Oh my God. So this is called function notation. You might have heard it before. You're going to learn about it later on. I'm going to do a brief introduction right now. So we say function notation, f of x equals y. What does that mean? Just know if you have this number f, right, and then you have this 0 right there, that means that this is the x value and that's the y value. So sometimes you use an equation, you say f of x equals mx plus b. That's the same as y equals mx plus b. This is just a fancy way to say it. And if I said, hey, plug in 5 for x, you would say f of 5 equals m times 5 plus b. All right, that's function notation. You don't got to worry about that too much right now. I just want to show you how to solve this. So we have f of 0 equals -2. That means that this is really f of x equals y, right? So I'm going to have a point. My x is 0, and my y is minus 2. So that's 1 point. The other one is f of 4 equals minus 3. So again, f of x equals y. That means my x is 4, and my y is negative 3. Now we've got 2 points. We know how to do this. So we need to find the slope first. That's m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to call this x1, y1, x2, y2. So my y2 is negative 3 minus my y1 is negative 2. My x2 is 4 and my x1 is 0. So this simplifies to negative 3. A minus the negative becomes plus. So this is negative 3 plus 2. And this is 4 minus 0, that's 4. And then negative 3 plus 2 becomes negative 1. So I'll bring this back down over there. This is going to equal negative 1 over 4. So your slope is negative 1 over 4. What's the y-intercept? Well, look, there's a 0 right there for x. And so the y is the y-intercept. So b is going to equal negative 2. So now I have m and b. I put it back in the formula. Y equals negative 1 over 4x plus a minus 2. And that will simplify to y equals negative 1 over 4x minus 2. There we go. Word problem. Application. Extending your knowledge. This is great. This says the initial fee to have a website set up using a server is $48. It costs $44 per month to maintain the website. Write an equation that gives the total cost of setting up and maintaining a website as a function of the number of months it is maintained. So, if you see initial fee, that's what you have to pay at the beginning, and that's $48. Initial fee is going to be B, the y-intercept. So B equals 48. That's where you start. You start at $48. Then it says it costs $44 per month. When you see per, that is a rate. So every month you pay $44, and that's going to be the slope. So M will equal 44. So I've got these two numbers. Now I need to put it in the equation. Y equals mx plus b. So my slope, $44. 44. I write x. My y-intercept, b, is 48. So there is my equation. Now it says find the total cost of setting up and maintaining the website for 6 months. So I know that it's $44 per month. So I'm going to change the x, because that's the number of months, to 6. So I just write this out. Y equals 44 times 6 plus 48. That's a 6. And then I simplify it. Y equals, what's 44 times 6? 44 times 6. That's 24. 6 times 4, 24. 26. So 26, 264. So 264 plus 48. All right, let me add those. 264 plus 48. That's a 12, 10, 11, boom, 312. So y equals 312. 312. There it is. So the total cost of maintaining and setting up this website for 6 months will be $312. Bam, you could even put dollars there. Pow. All right. So now I want you to try these. So pause this video. Pause the video. Try these on your own. And then I'll come back and give you the answers. Alright, I hope you paused. So we're looking for y equals mx plus b right here. Y equals mx plus b. The slope. So here's a point right here. There's another one. I have to go down 1, 2, and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went down 2, that's negative 2, to the right 4, so 4. So my slope is negative 2 over 4, and that simplifies to negative 1/2. My y-intercept, so my b, this crosses the y-axis right here, that's 2. So b is 2, and I just plug that in. Y equals 2x, oh, not 2x, y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Alright, this one over here, it doesn't give me the slope, so I need to find it. The formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'll say that's x1, y1, x2, y2. So my y2 is 13. My y1 is 4. My x2 is 6. My y1 is 0. So 13 minus 4, that's 9. 6 minus 0 is 6. And this will simplify to 3 over 2. So my slope is 3 over 2. M equals 3 over 2. And then my b, remember, when x is 0, this is going to be the y-intercept. So b equals 4. That's a 4. Alright, so my computer just got messed up. But this is what we did for the slope. We got, oh, not 2 over 3. 3 over 2. And the y-intercept was 4. So now we just need to plug it in to the formula. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals, the slope is 3 over 2. And we have x. And then lastly we have b, which was 4. So there it is. Bam. Boom. And that's it. So, good job on this video. This is an important one. Good luck on the mastery check. Good luck on the packet. Durkis out. I did want to show you one more thing. One of my students showed me this today, and it was awesome. So check this out. You got a kitty? With the laser beam. And that is awesome. You know who you are who showed me this. And thank you.